Rob, Heather, Eric, Monica, Leslie, back here with you. The five of us will rejoin you at halftime of this one, get you caught up on how Mexico advanced to their third overall Women's World Cup. But right now, let's get it back out live to PPL Park, closing in on kickoff between the U.S. and Costa Rica. Here now, your match announcers for this one, John Strong and former U.S. Women's International, Kat Whitehill.
Well, Rob, the United States already knows they're going to a World Cup. So does Costa Rica, for that matter. So the question, Kat, what are the motivations and the objectives in this game?
Well, first of all, the United States, they want that #1 seed when it comes to FIFA and the World Cup picking out of the hat. So they don't want to mess around with that. They want to win this game. But let's be honest, it is a championship. And the mentality of the United States is to win it, be #1 in the region, and come out on top.
Yeah, we spent some time with Jill Ellis earlier today in the team hotel. She said we want to be our bestie in the region, and we don't want to mess around with that FIFA seeding for the World Cup. Jenny Taft is downstairs down on the field for us with a change in Jill Ellis's lineup for this game. Jenny?
You're right about that. Well, Morgan Bryan, the youngest member on this team, will be in the starting lineup for the first time of the tournament tonight. She'll be playing at that number 10 position, and Jill has been emphasizing to us over and over again she wants players to be able to play in multiple roles on the field. She also said Morgan Bryan has been training really well as that number 6 understudy to Lauren Holiday, but she's looking forward to seeing what she brings to the attack tonight.
Well, teams are being welcomed out. Another big crowd here at PPL Park, the championship of the CONCACAF Women's Championship here in Philadelphia.
The field to greet the finalists. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthems of Costa Rica and the United States. wish to bring a message from the United Nations regarding AIDS prevention.
Como capitanas de los equipos que compiten en el Campeonato Femenino de CONCACAF 2014, hacemos un llamado a los jugadores, a las jóvenes y a los aficionados en todo el continente americano a celebrar la vida y a apoyar la campaña de UNOSIDA Protege la Meta para que así alcancemos 0 nuevas infecciones por el VIH, 0 discriminación y 0 muertes relacionadas con el SIDA.
As captains of teams competing in the CONCACAF Women's Championship 2014, we appeal to players, young people, and fans across the continent to celebrate life and support the AIDS. Protect the goal, campaign for 0 new HIV infections, 0 discrimination, and 0 AIDS-related deaths.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for this game. First for Costa Rica, 1 change for them for the team that outlasted Trinidad and Tobago in penalties on Friday night.
Well, yeah, the key, though, even though there's only 1 change, and that's Venegas, who the goal scorer is out, Shirley Cruz is the key player today because they're going to be dropping back a little bit. They just played 120 minutes. She's going to have to hold the ball up and get her teammates wide.
For the United States, Jill Ellis making 3 changes today. We talked about Morgan Bryan as the other one, but a couple other moves as well.
Well, and the key for them is seeing how Megan Rapinoe adjusted going back on that left flank. She did a nice job early on in this tournament. She hasn't really seen a lot since. And so now, how is that relationship with her and Megan Klingenberg going in the championship game?
Well, a beautiful evening here just south of Philadelphia. The wind has died down. That was an issue in the earlier game. Temperatures very mild. A great weather setting for this final of the 2014 CONCACAF Women's Championship. The United States have won 6 out of the 7 titles they've competed for. That includes twice when this tournament was held when it was not World Cup qualifying. The U.S. didn't participate in qualifying for the '99 World Cup as hosts. And, of course, it was 4 years ago. They had to beat Costa Rica in a 3rd-place game just to get to a playoff with Italy. As we take a look at our referee for this match, Lucilia Venegas of Mexico. She was the referee of the Under-17 Women's World Cup final earlier this year. And the 2 captains, Shirley Cruz and Christy Rampone, vastly experienced players getting set to lead their teams out for this game. This is the 10th all-time meeting between the U.S. and Costa Rica. Not only has the U.S. won all 9, they have never conceded a goal to Costa Rica. 45 goals scored, none conceded. But as we have seen, this is a new era for Costa Rica soccer at all levels and both the men's and women's game.
Well, Costa Rica is believing in the process. They've qualified for the World Cup at U17 level, then with similar players at the U20 level, and now they've qualified at the senior level. And it has to do with starting a long time ago, and they've had a lot of people put in place that have developed this youth, and they're now starting to reap the rewards.
They're in a World Cup for the 1st time, the U.S. in a World Cup for the 7th time. It's a matter of determining who will be on top of CONCACAF for another 4 years as this one's underway. The final of the CONCACAF Women's Championship here at PPL Park just south of Philadelphia. The United States in red for the 1st time in this tournament. Costa Rica in white. As Jill Ellis said, we want to win our region. We want to win every game as we do it. As it's sent in towards Abby Wambach, gets her head to it, trying to find Morgan Bryan. Whistle's gone for a foul.
And the U.S.'s style is already more direct in these opening couple of minutes because Abby Wambach is in there and she towers over the back line of Costa Rica, and you might as well utilize that right now as Costa Rica is trying to get into this game. And you know, the first 10 minutes are always difficult anyways.
Saw Jill Ellis there on the bench. We spent some time with her at the hotel. Certainly pleased with how her team has evolved and adapted throughout the tournament. Trying to play wide there for Herrera. Was Raquel Rodriguez of Penn State University. It's cleared out for a throw. it back for Signs, who couldn't keep it in play.
Well, the question for Costa Rica today is, can they last the full 90 minutes? They've been very consistent so far this tournament, where they're very good for 60 minutes, and they tend to drop off in those last 30 minutes. Well, now, in less than 48 hours ago, they played 120 minutes. And so how are their legs going to be with only one change? They could face some really tired legs. Can they score early against the United States?
Holiday's long switch for press. Now Carly Lloyd on it. Lloyd co-leading scorer in this tournament with Carolina Venegas of Costa Rica. Taken off the ball, though, by Lixie Rodriguez. And shepherded behind for a goal kick. Now that is Garabet Avedissian, native of Uruguay. Talked yesterday at the press conference about just a process finally starting to bear fruit. As you heard Kat talk about success at the under-17 and the under-20 level in recent years. And now breaking through is the first CONCACAF team outside of the U.S., Mexico, or Canada to qualify for a World Cup. And we'll find out with Trinidad and Tobago, that playoff against Ecuador, if they can also join the party as well. Rapinoe dumped off the ball by Christine Granados.
Well, I like what Jill Ellis said about Costa Rica. And one phrase was it was a big shot in the arm for them, but at the same time, they're going to be a great representative for CONCACAF going into the World Cup. So I think every team is starting to see how well Costa Rica has developed. And this is the foul against Lauren Holiday. Not real sure what the call was there. Just a little bit of shoving and trying to keep it a clean match.
Megan Klingenberg, who scored that sensational first ever goal for the U.S. in the final group stage game against Haiti. Womack able to send it along for Kristen Press. Press rolled in for Bryan from the byline. Work to do, and it's out for a U.S. corner. Well, a roar from the fans at that end of the stadium for Megan Rapinoe, who comes across to take. Rapinoe drives it in. Press knocks it down. It's Klingenberg. She can score from there. That one's blocked. Bryan, an opportunity now. Her cross for Womack. Inside of 4 minutes, the United States takes the lead.
This is Abby at her best. Morgan Bryan perfectly crossed. Abby finishes it. Just a little redirection and in the goal for the 1-0 lead. Abby Wambach does not miss those, and you can see it is just simple for her because she is the greatest header in the world.
The greatest goal scorer in the world, 174 now for her international career. And Morgan Bryan immediately paying dividends given the start. For Wambach now, that's 15 goals in World Cup qualifying matches, just 2 shy of Michelle Akers' record for the United States. Wambach again. Tripped up from behind, advantage played as she finds Morgan Bryan. Bryan trying to get it away for Lloyd, cleared away by Signs. And broken up by Becky Sauerbrunn. Rapinoe and Lloyd combining. Lloyd's cross takes a deflection and sent in behind by Daniela Cruz for another U.S. corner.
The key for Megan Rapinoe on these corner kicks, the last one was a line drive, just lofted in there and let Abby get a head on it. She towers over these defenders, and it's going to be difficult for them to defend Abby. So just let Abby do what she is so good at.
The referee spotting some pushing and shoving. Let's go over to have a chat. Lloyd and Rodriguez. Rapinoe this time from the near flag, flicked across. Again, Morgan Bryant involved. Bryant cuts it back. Lloyd looking to turn. The shot is blocked. Still loose right in front. And ends up out for a throw. Costa Rica being snowed under in the opening minutes of this. Becky Sauerbrunn is back in the lineup after being on the bench the last 2 games in the tournament. Across for Christy Rampone. Krieger for Holiday. Sauerbrunn threading it in. Carly Lloyd has options either side, crossing in. Wambach takes the bump. Held in by Press, recenters. Then the redirection is wide from Abby Wambach, and she's got a complaint on that one.
Well, this is an excellent ball and sent into Abby Wambach, and you can see she definitely gets pushed in the box completely. It looks unintended, but still, it could definitely have been a penalty kick.
Should it have been?
I think it should have been, yes.
Lloyd winning the header. Rapinoe for Wambach, who misplays that out.
If Abby Wambach hadn't been bumped, she probably would have finished that, so that's why I call it a penalty kick.
Dr. Joe Machnick watching this one in L.A. Was that a penalty for you?
You know, we don't no longer use the word intent when we talk about fouls. We just talk about the result. And clearly a push that results in Abby Wambach being knocked to the ground. I think it's a penalty kick.
Well, Costa Rica, perhaps fortunate, only 1-0 down through 8 minutes, is immediately the U.S. back on the ball. Bryant tackled off it by Alvarado. Daphne Herrera for Raquel Rodriguez. One of 4 players on this roster from U.S. colleges for Costa Rica. That was a scuffed attempt by Granados and cleared away by Krieger. Clean tackle there by Sanchez. Played long over the top. Wendy Acosta beaten to it by Ali Krieger. And it's going to be out for a Costa Rica throw.
Well, yeah, Abby Wambach getting tangled up again, and still no call. She's going to be starting to get very frustrated.
Acosta sending into the box. Klingenberg heads away. A follow-up shot, and it's going to be well wide in the end. Shirley Cruz. Well, Jenny Taft is down on the sideline. We've seen Morgan Bryant, particularly back at. This is Bryant getting involved early on.
It's interesting because there is such a mix of rookies and veterans on this team. Morgan Bryant, 21 years old. I asked her what it was like to be the youngest. She said, you know, when I was younger, I looked up to players like Abby Wambach. So, of course, I was scared at first in training, but you just get used to it. And then when you're on the field together, you're just teammates. And you could see the connection between Morgan and Abby there.
Press's cross blocked. Luxie Rodriguez getting it clear to midfield. And can't we see Morgan Bryant involved early on? What do you need to see from her, not only in a different role, but again, a very different level that she's used to playing in college?
Well, yeah, the main thing I want to see is how well she connects with the different lines. Can she interchange with Megan Rapinoe, who's also playing that 10 role? Can she connect with Abby Wambach up front? So far, she has. She's been making some excellent runs. She's been staying high, where she almost looks like a forward, but she's also come low as a midfielder. So that's what you really want to see from your playmaker. I think the next level for her is really trying to slot a player in, whether that's Abby Wambach, Kristen Press, or Megan Rapinoe, and that'll really show how good she can be at that playmaking role.
Acosta was offside there on the ball over the top.
And it looked like she was about 2 steps offside. A good hold from the United States back line. going back to Morgan Bryan, I think one thing that's impressed me a lot about her in this tournament especially is she goes from college soccer to this international level, and the way she's adjusted to the speed of play and the pace and how quickly the United States likes to play, she's done extremely well, and she's scored a goal and now assisted, and you know, it's just very impressive.
Lloyd taking the shot from distance, takes a block. Holiday trying to keep it in. Wambach has it now. Lloyd on the turn. Carly Lloyd saves and held by Dinia Diaz.
Carly Lloyd, the leading goal scorer for the United States, gets an excellent turn and just misses the near post. A good save from Diaz, though.
Holiday off the referee. Herrera, now Rodriguez for Costa Rica. Good job tracking back there by Christian Press to break it up. Costa Rica has been fantastic in this tournament. They beat Mexico in the opener 1-0. It was the first time in 10 games in qualifying they had beaten any of the North American countries. A 2-1 win over Jamaica as they exchanged goals in the second half. Then with a very changed up team, they cruised past Martinique 6-1 before that wild game Friday night. They had the lead for a long while on Trinidad and Tobago, and saw an equalizing goal late in regulation. Swing and a miss from Ali Krieger. Wendy Acosta trying to chase this ball down. That's good recovery, speed, and strength by Krieger, and it's out for a U.S. throw. They ended up going to penalties on Friday night. It was 3-0 in the penalty shootout. All three made for Costa Rica, and Dinia Diaz saving all three Trinidad and Tobago attempts, and Costa Rica into the Women's World Cup for the very first time. They had 2 opportunities 4 years ago in this tournament. They were shut out in a loss to Canada in the semifinal, and then the U.S. beat them in the third-place game. The U.S. going on to beat Italy in a 2-legged playoff to get into the tournament in Germany, as Christian Press now is charging forward. Press cross takes a deflection behind for a U.S. corner.
A fantastic ball played out to Press from Morgan Bryan, and she's doing an excellent job of, even though she's in that 10 role, of just distributing the ball to that wing play, and Kristen Press just has a nice touch and wasn't able to beat her defender, but that's how good this team can be when they find their wing play, get the crosses in. It's fun to watch.
Third U.S. corner of the game. Rapinoe lifting in deep to the back post. Wambach header back in front. A little bit of hesitation there. Sauerbrunn picks it up. Just knocking into the traffic. It's cleared away. Krieger resets for Rapinoe. Rapinoe left-footed cross this time. It's cleared away. Alvarado got on that. Good little cut there by Shirley Cruz. Really the first time all game Costa Rica's been able to hold the ball for a moment, keep possession.
Well, this is important for the rest of the game for Costa Rica. They need to give their defenders a break. They need to allow their players to get high, get forward, and force the United States to defend.
The ball over the top. Daphne Herrera getting in behind of Klingenberg. Herrera driving to the byline. Herrera cuts it back. It's a touch off Klingenberg. Ramponis across to get there first. Just in front of Rodriguez. Herrera again wins a free kick. A little burst of life there from Costa Rica. We were lucky not to be 2-0 down in the opening minutes.
It's a nice play from Christy Rampone, but she did hobble a bit after that. Still hobbling right now. She's got a little limp, and she's until that hit really affected her.
Pretty good crew of Costa Rica fans just behind where this free kick is being taken. They're coming to life now as well, as Catherine Alvarado sends the free kick in. Solo tracking it, has the catch. Hope Solo really hasn't had much to do. Only one shot on goal allowed in the entire tournament by the U.S. That was in the opener against Trinidad and Tobago. 9 attempts at goal overall conceded by the U.S. No goals allowed through 4 matches at this CONCACAF Women's Championship.
But this has been a good test so far for the United States, especially on the flank play. The United States loves to push their outside backs forward, and when one goes forward, the other one has to tuck in.
Press on the turn, plays for Abby Wambach to the byline. Wambach sending the cross in, back post, and sent it behind, playing safe there with Signs. A 4th U.S. corner of the matchup coming.
Nicely timed run from Abby Wambach. Was able to have time to pick up her head, but the cross just wasn't good enough. And Costa Rica was able to clear it for a corner kick.
Rapinoe had Holiday making a run for a short ball. Instead she'll play it in. Get deep to the back post. Wambach is there in front, and it's helped along and in. 2-0 to the U.S. 5 goals in 5 in the tournament for Carly Lloyd.
This was the lofted ball to Abby Wambach's head. She's easily able to win it. Carly Lloyd gets in front of the goalkeeper, and all she has to do is just a little touch, and it goes in the back of the net for the United States. Fantastic redirection from Carly Lloyd.
Now Lloyd has been lights out. It's her 10th goal of the year, tying Abby Wambach for the team lead. She leads the team in assists this year, and she leads the tournament in goals. As that's just out. And for more on Carly Lloyd, let's go downstairs to Jenny.
Well, I've had a few conversations with Carly throughout this tournament, and one thing that stood out to me is she said she can be extremely hard on herself. She said if she's not having a great game, she'll dissect the play, and she really doesn't let it go until the next game, but she's been focusing on finding a balance. She said this is the most fun she's had in a while, and you can tell that having fun and finding that balance is working for Carly.
Well, she's playing close to home. She grew up in the Philadelphia suburbs on the New Jersey side, just about 30 miles from where we are at PPL Park. A lot of friends and family here for this. Good little touch on the outside by Acosta. Now Rodriguez slipping it through. That was Lixie Rodriguez from Raquel Rodriguez, and just beaten to it by Press. And that's behind for a Costa Rica corner.
But a good recovery from Kristen Press, who's not the defender in this situation, but she follows her mark the whole time. Tries to get the throw in, but goes out for a corner instead.
I hope Sola hasn't had to set her defense for a lot of attacking set pieces in this tournament. Catherine Alvarado sends in the in-swinger. Wambach up to get the head to it. Needs to be helped along. Krieger was in on the second one. Ganal's trying to head that. Flag's up there for offside, as Raquel Rodriguez came back from an offside position.
But this is good for the United States. I was talking about the outside backs going forward and how the weak side outside back has to stay locked in, because Costa Rica is very good about getting down the flanks. They're smart with the timing of their runs, and the way the ball is being played has been very good for Costa Rica, and it's been difficult for the United States to deal with. And so it's a nice test finally for the United States defensively.
We're just about to the halfway point of this first half here at PPL Park, just south of Philadelphia. The United States already 2-0 up on Costa Rica in the final of the CONCACAF Women's Championship. Alongside Kat Whitehill and Jenny Taft down on the sideline, I'm John Strong. Abby Wambach and Carly Lloyd, the goals in this one. Wambach getting an assist as well. There's Lloyd on the ball now. Both these teams already know they're going to the Women's World Cup next year in Canada. For Costa Rica, trying to get a result or maybe even score a goal for the very first time against the U.S. Jill Ellis, U.S. head coach, telling us they just want to finish things the right way, win their region, make sure there's no doubt in anyone's mind they deserve to be a top seed at next year's World Cup, as that ball is beyond Megan Klingenbergen out.
And this is the second goal for Abby Wambach to Carly Lloyd. And it's just amazing how good Abby Wambach is in the air. And if you just float it up, something's bound to happen. And Carly Lloyd, she is just a goal-scoring machine this tournament. And Jenny Tapp talked about her having fun, and you can just see it in the way that she's playing. She's just played incredible this whole tournament.
Megan Rapinoe on the ball for the U.S. Wants to come back inside. Megan Klingenberg given the space. Klingenberg to the traffic, knocked down. Lloyd and put over the top on a bouncing ball by Wambach.
Megan Klingenberg, well-placed shot. We saw that amazing shot earlier, and Abby Wambach and Carly Lloyd, little miscommunication here, and Abby unfortunately sends it over, and you can see them smiling at each other. They both wanted that goal.
Good job by Daniela Cruz of Costa Rica to get in the way of the shot. Holiday just being eased out of the way by Granados. Krieger stepping up, can't take Acosta off the ball. Now run for Bryant. Now Klingenberg. Turn pass blocked by Signs. Someone try to come out of there with the ball. Signs just got held up. Rapinoe then gives away a free kick as she fouls Granados.
Megan Rapinoe decides to use her hands a little bit too much on that one and pulls her down. Good call from the referee.
Shirley Cruz on the ball, who plays for Paris Saint-Germain in France. Was briefly a teammate of Tobin Heath before Heath came back and was with the Portland Thorns at NWSL. Formerly, Cruz played for Olympique Lyon just before Megan Rapinoe got there. Morgan Bryant again for the U.S. Cross is blocked. Signs working hard, and now putting a space here for Daphne Herrera to run into. Back inside for Granados. Now Acosta broken up by Ali Krieger. And a good step to win it back by Catherine Alvarado. Alvarado has Herrera out wide. That was not the right angle in the pass, though. Intercepted by Klingenberg. Now Rapinoe trying to skip her way past Signs. Still Megan Rapinoe. Curls it along. Carly Lloyd picking it up as Press made the run inside. Just knocked out by Lixie Rodriguez. Krieger crossing in from deep. Header away by Sanchez. And Raquel Rodriguez for Lixie Rodriguez as Costa Rica take it back. Errant pass there by Signs, given straight back to the U.S. Rapinoe is knocked out by Signs. Klingenberg quickly back in for Rapinoe. Now Bryant in her senior year at the University of Virginia, the only current college player on the U.S. roster for this tournament. Press with the hip feint, able to catch up to the ball. Cutting inside Rodriguez. Press then poked away. Krieger follows up. Krieger's cross. Rapinoe's header not left behind it. And Diaz swallows it up.
And it's just so difficult to defend the United States right now. They have 3 players in the box. They were well marked, and Megan Rapinoe wasn't able to get a strong enough header on that one. But when you're faced with 3 and 4 runners, like the United States keeps putting forward, it is so difficult as a defender to have to deal with that and mark and stay focused in the box.
Daphne Herrera there with a strong challenge on Rapinoe.
And Megan Rapinoe just completely gets pushed to the ground from Herrera on that one, and just a little bit quicker from Megan Rapinoe, and that might have not happened.
Herrera, an 18-year-old, played at the Under-20 World Cup just recently for Costa Rica. A couple players from that team that are on their roster for this. Lions under pressure, able to keep it. Look at all the red shirts immediately closing down Granados for the U.S. to win it back. Rampone carrying forward. Now Holiday. Holiday playing it in from deep. That's going to be too close to the goalkeeper, Diaz. Diaz, who really became a hero on Friday, the 3 saves in the penalty shootout. She was the starter for Costa Rica at the last qualifying tournament. Drew immediate comparisons with Keylor Navas, the Costa Rica men's goalkeeper, who saved a penalty in a shootout at the World Cup against Greece, and in a summer move to Real Madrid. As Rapinoe upset that she gives away a foul. Megan Rapinoe is going to get a yellow card for dissent. Lauren Holiday trying to talk the referee out of it, but Rapinoe in the book.
Rapinoe wasn't happy about this foul, as it looked a little bit like Sainz had a piece of Rapinoe. It was a good battle. Megan Rapinoe definitely fouled as well, so I can see where the call was, but she got the yellow card for throwing her.
A few times in this game, those two have...
Yeah, it's been a good battle on that left side. Sainz and Herrera against Megan Rapinoe, actually.
Herrera brings it down. Slip through, Sainz chasing. Christy Rampone sliding across, read it the whole way. Clearance, though, only as far as Alvarado. Alvarado cuts inside Rapinoe. Pass for Rodriguez. She was being knocked down. Then a foul given away by Carly Lloyd. Free kick, Costa Rica. That's Catherine Alvarado, who's slow to get up.
Looks like Carly Lloyd stepped on Alvarado's foot. Yeah, right there. That does not feel good.
Alvarado back up. She'll come across to take this. Pushing and shoving off the balls. Alvarado drives it in. It pings around. Sauerbrunn up to get it. Attempted a volley, knocked down by Lloyd and cleared away. That was Daphne Herrera who had that shot.
But I like how Costa Rica is still playing. They might be down 2-0, but they don't seem to be intimidated by the United States. This is kind of a no-fear attitude with Costa Rica, because even if they lose this game, they made the qualifying. So they want to go after them and really test themselves, and you're really getting that sense tonight.
Well, are you surprised? Because we heard the comments from Costa Rica's coach about just trying to want to enjoy it, which we all interpreted as, well, we're not really going to care too much, but they do seem to be trying to press the issue and playing with the confidence.
Yeah, I love it. You can tell they're enjoying it. They're meeting the United States physicality of the game. They're not afraid to foul. They're not afraid to go after it. I mean, sometimes I'm looking up and there's 3 front runners, and the United States has not seen that really this whole tournament. And so it's great to see Costa Rica just seeing how they compare to another team that's qualified for the World Cup. And obviously when you can compare yourself to the United States and you can play against them, that's huge for Costa Rica, getting some confidence going into the World Cup.
Pressure there in the center from Bryant. Whistle and a foul.
Bryant just comes in a little late on that tackle. And again, Costa Rica, they play pretty quick, so United States is having to bend quicker than they've been used to this tournament. So it's also a good test for the United States defensively to really work on their shape.
Up the line for Herrera. Klingenberg immediately on her and takes her off the ball. Well, the U.S. will have some good tests after this. In December, they'll go down to Brazil for a 4 Nations tournament. Brazil, China, and Argentina all will be a part of that. As Lloyd blocks the attempted clearance, and Carly Lloyd is in, and Carly Lloyd blasts it over. Mistake at the back. Carly Lloyd can't believe it's not 3-0.
Well, honestly, I'm kind of surprised that she went to her left foot. If she just cut it to her right foot, she might have had a better angle. But instead, she pushes it to her left, which is a strong area for Carly Lloyd, but her right is better, and it might have helped her out to take one extra touch and gotten a better angle on goal.
This is a World Cup match. Does she take that right-footed? Is it because of the situation? Is she kind of thinking, I'll try my left?
I would hope that she would think again about putting it on her right in a World Cup situation, but you know, I mean, she's confident with her left foot, so that's why she kept it there. And
good work by Rapinoe to win the ball. Klingenberg now heavy first touch, and it's going to be a handball on Carol Sanchez coming in. Free kick for the U.S. on the wing.
Honestly, I don't know how familiar she is with breakaways because she's not used to having so much space.
Quickly taken. Klingenberg from the byline. The cross. Volley back in front. Swing and a miss. Presses there and ends up out. It's going to be a goal kick given by the referee. Costa Rica caught unawares there on the quickly taken restart.
It's hard to tell whether that was a goal kick or corner kick. A lot of the United States players felt like it was a corner kick.
Well, that goal kick is just barely going to get out of the 18-yard box. And Catherine Alvarado looking back at her goalkeeper. Not happy with that decision because it gives possession right back to the U.S. Rapinoe. Morgan Bryan opening up. Bryan through traffic, saved and held by Diaz right in front of Abby Wambach. Over the top now for Rodriguez. Sauerbrunn slipped but was able to recover to head it away. Golden for Holiday. Cut off though by Shirley Cruz.
One thing that Costa Rica's done well in the midfielders, they're not giving Holiday nearly the space that she's been accustomed to this tournament. And that's good for Holiday to work on that and releasing the ball quicker and getting used to that pressure. And that's what they want to see from her in that number 6 role, is how well she can do, especially under pressure.
Because Jill Ellis has talked to us about how hard it's been for them to work on these things, trying to change and evolve the style of play when teams are sitting back and bunkering on them. This is really, in a lot of ways, the best test the U.S. has got in this tournament.
Absolutely. Even though it's 2-0, Costa Rica is playing the way that the United States kind of wanted everybody to play in this tournament. So it's been good so far to work on it. And you can see that the evolving system is working. It's just still evolving, and that's good for the United States because you still have, 6 months until the World Cup.
Holiday out wide for Klingenberg. Now Rapinoe threading it in. That's Lloyd who made the run. Lloyd creating space, crossing in. Wambach has done it again. Second goal of the game. 175th of her international career. 3-0 United States.
Carly Lloyd has been so great at these runs, beating the defenders, coming from a deeper spot. And Abby Wambach is just wide open on the back post, and you can't leave her that wide open. And Carly Lloyd perfectly placed ball, and it's fun to watch when you play a ball like that into Abby Wambach, how easy she makes it look.
5 goals for her in the tournament, now tying Carly Lloyd for the Golden Boot as top scorer. Now the U.S. chasing Costa Rica around in the middle, but good work. Shirley Cruz able to find the open player, Daniela Cruz. Daniela Cruz a bit too far for Raquel Rodriguez. Holiday now, a little pocket of space. Playing the long ball for Megan Rapinoe. Rapinoe, first time across the face of goal, too far from Morgan Bryan.
I absolutely love this ball from Lauren Holiday. And Megan Rapinoe, I love the one touch because she saw Morgan Bryan running in, and if it just been a little bit back, Morgan Bryan could have easily touched that in to the back of the net.
Becky Sauerbrunn has been Defender of the Year last 2 seasons at NWSL with FC Kansas City. Rapinoe now. Well controlled by Klingenberg. Megan Klingenberg cutting inside. Not too far in front of her, but the deflection into the box. Header only as far as Klingenberg. And Klingenberg fires off the bar. Ball back in. Away by Lixie Rodriguez. Helped along by Acosta, who's fouled by Krista. Oh, it's going to go the other way. Lixie Rodriguez penalized for a foul on press. Free kick for the U.S. just outside the box.
Every World Cup team needs to take note. Do not let Megan Klingenberg get the ball on her right foot at the top of the box because she is so good at shooting these volleys and just misses off the bar. And I love the expression. Could have been another beautiful one for Megan Klingenberg.
Lauren Holiday now is over this free kick. U.S. is pressing numbers forward in there. Holiday fires through the traffic. The whistle's already gone for a foul. Good save, though, by Diaz.
Diaz is doing a nice job. Even though that was a foul, she's held 2 pretty well-struck balls and not allowed for any kind of rebound. And Abby Wambach is running that way to just try and sniff one of those out. So Diaz doing a nice job in goal for Costa Rica.
13 shots to 2 in favor of the U.S. so far. And that was one of the questions posed to Jill Ellis at the press conference yesterday. All the shots the U.S. has had, A, converting them into shots on goal, B, converting them into goals. 19 goals on 91 shots coming into the game. We've seen the 3 goals already, the 1 shot that came back off the bar, and a couple of saves by Tania Diaz, the Costa Rica goalkeeper.
And I loved what she said about it. She talked about how data is very important to this team, and after every game they talk about unforced turnovers, regains for defenders, and their shooting efficiency and how, if they're good or if they're bad, and every practice session goes off of whether they've failed on one of those datas, and they work on it the next day. So it's something that the United States has taken note of. They've had a lot of opportunities, which is good. They just need to finish a few more.
So it's just something Jill Ellis has really brought to this job since being given the permanent head coaching position in the spring, is just the advanced metrics, the analytics that wasn't necessarily as much the style of her predecessor, Tom Sermanis. That's out for a U.S. throw. For more on Jill Ellis and some of those changes she's made, Jenny Taft back at the sideline.
Well, it's been interesting to talk to a lot of these players about just having Coach Ellis as the head coach. A lot of them played with under her as an assistant. But Allie Krieger said to me specifically, she's just such a good leader. We're all on the same page. And with her leadership, we follow. She's guiding us in a direction that everyone is on the same page. And we all know what the main goal is. And that's really why Coach Ellis has worked so well for this group so far.
Well, the main goal exists next summer at BC Place in Vancouver, Canada.
I think something that Jill Ellis is very good at is communicating with the players and really getting them to buy into her system and buying into the fact that she believes in every single player out there. I've seen it when she was at UCLA. I actually got to play with her at the youth level, and she's very good about being personal with each and every player and making them feel important.
Rapinoe cutting inside. Rapinoe cutting it back for Lloyd. Lloyd, the turn, the cross, Wambach for her hat trick. The best goal scorer in international soccer history, a first-half hat trick in the United States, running away from Costa Rica.
It's the Carly Lloyd, Abby Wambach connection, and didn't even have to look. She knew Abby would be on the back post, and just a perfectly placed ball on both ends to finish another excellent goal.
She had 3 goals in 4 games coming into the tournament, or coming into today, I should say, in the tournament. 3 goals in the first half, takes over the leading score charts. And as much as we've praised the approach that Costa Rica's had, some of the things they've been able to do, what does it say about the U.S. that they're 4-0 up before the break?
Well, it just says that the United States, had everybody played this way, really would have rolled this tournament even more. And I love that Costa Rica is coming out and play. They want to test themselves, but you can see how good the United States can be if the team is spread out more and there's not 10 players in the box trying to thread a needle to get a goal. And you know, I just love how dynamic this team has been in the last couple of games. Their movement off the ball has been excellent.
Rapinoe pulling the shot wide. Now coming up at the break, the Continental Halftime Show. Rob, Heather, Eric, and Monica in LA. Take a look back at what was really probably the game of the tournament in a lot of ways. Earlier, the 3rd place game between Trinidad and Tobago from Mexico, a second chance for both to get a spot at the World Cup. We'll have all the highlights and get their analysis of this first half performance from the United States. The U.S. team that had such a struggle, that opening game against Trinidad and Tobago, a 1-0 win. And a lot of questions being asked. And a lot of questions perhaps being answered in the game since. Holiday got to that first, but just too far for Rapinoe. Pressure there on Herrera. Bryan steps in. Costa Rica have the throw. Those are the Costa Rica fans making some noise. Still been an incredibly successful tournament for them, of course. They know they're going to the World Cup for the very first time. American Outlaws behind the goal to our right, trying to organize a vocal response right now. Sauerbrunn plays in for Wambach, who plays out wide for Rapinoe. Rapinoe trying to run at Signs, and it's fouled by Signs. Klingenberg. There's too much traffic for Wambach there to make the run, and it's out for a goal kick.
This is the last goal with Carly Lloyd finding Abby Wambach just open on that far post. And even though you're a smaller team, if you're Costa Rica, you have to put your body on Abby Wambach, make her jump early or just jump to the side a little bit. If you stick out a shoulder, that's what you have to do if you're smaller. And Costa Rica just has lost her and a lack of concentration in the box and marking Abby, and you just can't do that with someone as good at scoring as she is.
And we'll see what time is going to be put up for stoppages here at the end of the first half. Sauerbrunn looking for a pass. And the answer to that is none. No stoppage time expected at the end of this first half. Holiday back for Morgan Bryan. Bryan for Lloyd. Lloyd for Wambach. Back for Carly Lloyd. Trying to shot through traffic, and it's a save in the end from Diaz. That was close to that far post. Diaz playing safe. It's out for a corner. So this will be the last chance of the first half for the U.S. Rapinoe was just checking to see if Holiday was going to make that run for a short ball, and she is in the end. Back for Megan Rapinoe. No driven cross. Up was Lloyd, as was Wambach, and it's going to be a foul. And a little bit of conversation afterwards. Wambach and Carol Sanchez. The last time Abby Wambach had a first-half hat trick was the game last year when she broke Mia Hamm's all-time scoring record. So far, so good for the U.S. in the final of the 2014 CONCACAF Women's Championship. 3 from Wambach. Carly Lloyd, a goal and a pair of assists. Coming up next, the Continental Halftime Report from L.A. 45 minutes down, 45 to go in Philadelphia. United States 4, Costa Rica 0.